And Jordan?
Amen.
Amen.
Raj. Dave.
Tanya.
And apart from that, Happy Easter, whatever it means for whoever, is the beautiful tradition that may be joining people together, or it might be an excuse to verify the common saying, I think, by, was it Ramdas? If you think you're enlightened, spend the weekend with your family. So welcome to our little family, where it's very, very easy to hang out and have enjoyable encounters, and nothing is challenged really, because the baseline or the start is that everyone is already present and aware and alive and aware of being present and aware and alive. And if there is any objections to it, we look at the objections and we see that they are nothing but the thought. So you are always only one thought away from the full realization that is not even obscured by that one thought. So even when the thought comes up, the idea comes up, that there is an I, and that I still doesn't get it, and that I suffers, even that idea doesn't obscure the awareness of presence. If not for the aliveness, that idea couldn't have even been there. So the aliveness, the presence, is the sound allowed?
It's a little bit low, so we'll just try that.
Try this one, okay.
See if that makes a difference.
Okay. So if that presence wouldn't be there, even the obscuration, even the thought, even the idea of being a poor miserable little me that suffers couldn't be possible. So we bring the first things first. The aliveness, the presence, the heart essence, the radiance, that is everything there is, and that is shining right here and right now in this moment. And nothing can really touch it. It hasn't been born, it can't die, it isn't containable, it isn't objectifiable. Still low? Yeah,
so just more. I mean, I don't know what else to do really.
Thank you for clarifying. So that awareness of presence is all that we come back to, and there are 1,000 ways of pointing to it. The obviousness of this existence is self-evident, and now the obscuration for that self-existence is only seemingly so. It can't truly be obscured.
So just keep talking, I'll
Okay. So, and the obscuration is an idea of there still is a me. I understand it intellectually. I have to practice more. Maybe it will click, because to this guy or that lady or that person in the past it clicked in one big blast when they were eating pizza. What kind of pizza? I want the same pizza. Maybe it will click for me. Well, bad news is there is no me for who it clicks. There is no clicking. There is nothing to click. Everything that happens, including the idea of me, happens in the awareness of presence that you effortlessly already forever are. If the me arises and the me is persistent and the me is believed into reality and the me is hoping or waiting for some future time in which something happens and there will be more pleasure. So that's the theater. But the scene, the space, the background in which that theater, that drama can go on is untouched. Just like the movie screen is untouched by whatever the movie is playing on the screen. Just like the silence is untouched by any noises that appear in the silence. And we're showing and we're coming back by pointing to the fact that that effortless awareness of presence, or that potentiality of knowing, is never obscured, is always here. And in that here, everything happens in that now, in that forever nowness, forever here-ness. Past happens, future happens, seemingly. The dream of the past. The dream of the past arises as the thought or the memory here, in this moment now. The dream of location, the dream of being the body, of being confined between the, what Bob sometimes quoted, Kipling or someone, between the hat and boots, or within the framework of skin, that this is where I am, inside there somewhere, and this is where I am not, outside somewhere. The illusion of inside and outside. Where is it when you don't think about it? Is there a body you don't think about it? Can it be experienced as any sense of limitation if there is no thinking about it? So you can see how the thinking capacity or conceptualization or the translation of whatever the communication between the whole dream, within the whole dream happens. This is the projector. This is the creator of the drama. If not for the narrative, there is just this moment now, ever fresh, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, constantly changing, floating. The narrative creates the sense of time. That, oh, I came here at some point, I was born at some point, I experienced trauma at some point, and I have millions of collective stories, cultural stories, tribal stories, family stories. If I believe in past lives, more stories. And those stories construct the identity. That there is something that I relate to as me. They are my stories, they are my traumas, they are my wounds. But without the thought, where are they? Where is the conditioning? If I don't think about it, it's just the current behavior. It's just the current stimuli response, like Tanya says, showing up on the screen of awareness, in that pure awareness of presence, in that pure knowing. And without the thought, nothing has ever happened. And if it does happen, it happens right now. Okay, we're going to change over the sound system and see if it gets any better.
Yeah, and see if they can hear.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so that's a little break in the silent transmission, and see if you guys can hear it now.
Yes.
They can hear it, okay. Yeah, sorry for that. No one is the doer. The life is unfolding as it should, and if it causes any irritation or any inflammation or any resistance in the body, well, that's a wonderful invitation to look, to watch. What's the problem? Who is there? Who has a problem? Because the way life is unfolding, the way the life is lifing, it has to include the whole duality. There has to be winter for the summer to even exist. There have to be day for the night to exist. There have to be drama, sadness, pain, anger, for their opposite to be fully appreciated. So if there is anything that is being taken for granted, that things should be easy, people should respect me, my mother should love me, I should have more money, I should be enlightened. Those are ideas that beg they beg for questioning. Because they couldn't have appeared if not for the presence that is already shining bright effortlessly. None of those dramas, none of those concepts, and especially this big ego-inflaming concepts. I'm better than you because I don't destroy environment, I don't eat meat, I don't believe in that. All the comparisons, all the competitions. Or I believe in the truth, the conspiracy, I'm awakened to it and you are not. finding the differences, the big game in which I get it and you don't. See what a beautiful, luring illusion of separation. Nobody gets it, only I get it. Well, hello, who is that I? Who is that I with the sense of inferiority, or I will never get it? Or the I with the sense of superiority, or no one else gets it? There's no one there. So to see that in that space-like awareness, the luring, attractive ideas, conspiracies, notions arise, almost as if they were creatures of themselves that also love to be. We had a good laughter with Dean yesterday about people who are transmitting their conspiracy theories, and they really get like as if the virus infected that body and it just wants to proliferate, and just find more believers, assert itself, share itself, love itself, just shine. So all those ideas somehow, they possess the body. And the best one is the idea of separate self, the I, like a virus of the mind. There's someone there, that someone can control the thinking or the feeling, that someone can stop being so negative and start being positive, or that someone can choose or manifest or fall in love or choose or resist something or the other. That someone there is real. So this is the source of the psychological suffering. As Bob says, he's quoting, who was it, Wei Wu Wei? 99% of everything I want and everything I do and everything I think and everything I feel is for myself. And there isn't one. The self is the source. He says, karma is a ridiculous concept because there's only one. So there's no cause and effect in the oneness. It's just a dance of multiple elements, multitude of factors constantly updating and affecting each other, those factors of oneness. But in one exception, he had a really, really good spin on the idea of karma, because there is a singular cause for all psychological suffering, and that is a belief in separate self. That very belief, when the belief is present, the suffering is present. When the belief is absent, the suffering is absent, psychological suffering. Because of course the physical pain is inevitable. It is, if not for physical pain, there is no pleasure. So you got to endure some pain to experience some of the fun of life. But psychological suffering, if there is a me that is angry, if there is a me that is depressed, when there is a me experiencing self-pity, or is inferior, or is superior, has healthy self-confidence, well, that's gonna change too. Even if I love myself, who loves who? But I do appreciate my personality. Whose personality? So if there is any sense of self, even if that sense of self is fairly healthy, well, that's gonna change. Everything fluctuates. The weather is constantly changing. The inner weather is constantly changing. The outer weather is changing. And again, as Bob often says, the personality, I like it. So that seems like that's not really a source of suffering. I like it, I enjoy it, I love it. But guess what? This is gonna go. This is gonna change. Whoever you like will betray you or will die. Whoever or whatever you like, your taste is gonna change, or you will make yourself sick of eating that chocolate cake. Everything is gonna change. Or I don't like it, I have to push it away. I don't like being unenlightened. He's risen. Today's theme. Christ consciousness is risen. What a beautiful idea. The Christ consciousness. Where is it not? When has it ever been buried or crucified? It cannot be annihilated. What is called the life essence or intelligence or the awareness or Christ consciousness can never be annihilated. This is the energy. Energy does not get destroyed. It can be channeled into a nuclear bomb or into the idea of poor miserable little me, but it can't be destroyed. It is always here. But calling back for that recognition, that life essence, that energy, that Christ consciousness of the Easter is all there is. There is nothing else to be had. All that is ever to be found is already here, present for recognition. And that recognition is very, very simple. It can't really be overlooked when pointed. Nobody can deny it when pointed. So just coming back to that recognition, to that undeniable fact, and seeing how everything else is just an abstraction, it's just a fluff, it's just the content of the movie, which doesn't really ever hide the dream, the screen. And the dreaming is all there is. Without the dream, without the colorful drama, again, if there was nothing, that nothing, there is no possibility for self-awareness, appreciation, and love. There's no possibility in the nothingness for all the love, for all the joy and all the beauty and all the madness and all the crazy and all the pain, without which the opposite is impossible again. So the joy of existence, the love of being, the roller coaster, the ride, is there to be appreciated. It's like a vacation from the eternity of nothingness, which is also just a concept. Because all you ever experience is the moment now. If there is experiencing going on in this moment now, that's the forever, that's the eternity. But the beauty of that eternity of experiencing is that it doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to be a miserable, suffering, painful, longing for death.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. and when even that invitation for the fantasy of non-existence comes up, that can be appreciated too. Every fantasy, every dream, every daydream, every concept, every story, every conspiracy, when it has its right place, when it is just the object on the screen of awareness, can be totally loved and appreciated if there is no slavery to it. If there is no belief that, oh, this is me, I know the truth and you don't. Or this is I am trapped in that and I will never get out. Or why is that I still here? I just got the message from a friend I'm having individual meetings with. I still feels as if it is here. So what? Who knows about that? Who is witnessing that I? And how does it feel like? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it small? Is it big? How does it feel like that I is still here? Bob has this beautiful metaphor about the blueness. I is blue. I was always, blue. That's wrong. That's not enough. The blue like the sky. We know that sky isn't blue. Sky is translucent. There is no blueness when you go up in the airplane. You go 10,000 kilometers or whatever. There is no blueness coming through the windows. Or the ocean, the sea. The water is clear too, translucent. And so is the eye. Eye isn't blue, it only appears blue. Only appears like this is the entity which is always blue, always complaining. This is wrong, that is wrong. Appearance of the eye, which is known in the translucent transparency of the space. Space of water or sky is the space in which that eye, even if it still appears to be, well, isn't it wonderful? Just have a good laugh. Wow, well done. What a brilliant illusion it still appears to be. But you know the truth. You are the presence in which it appears to be. And as the presence, aware of the appearance, what does it matter what appears? To who does it matter what appears? Who is actually so attached to pleasure and so afraid of pain? Who is there that wants to survive, that wants to live? You will see that everything that the body-mind, the vehicle for the experiencing and expression represents, is really that pattern, that binary pattern of always chasing pleasure and always avoiding pain, which is the extension of basic survival mechanism, which every body, animal body, plant body, the insect body, the cellular body, the microbes in everywhere are equipped in self-preservation. Because if the body is not preserved, the experiencing and expression is not there. The corpse doesn't experience, corpse doesn't express. In the same way that aliveness flows through it and utilizes all the beautiful capacity for seeing, hearing, tasting, touching and smelling. So appreciation of those capacities running right now, and yet still understanding that those capacities are just part of the dream, they belong to the dream. And dreaming, having that dreaming, floating through the sky like awareness, not blue, even if it appears blue, even if it appears as this is me, I prefer chocolate cake, or I prefer to not be bullied. Of course, how wonderful. Yes, but I don't want to feel angry. Why not? What's wrong with a little bit of volcano erupting? What's wrong with a little bit of irritability or headache? What's wrong with anything, unless you think about it? If not for the pain, you wouldn't know pleasure. And everything changes is temporary. So if the pain shows up, it is an invitation to give it a space, to let it be experienced. And very often it comes with the survival mechanism answering to pain in one way or another. Looking for painkillers or checking the mechanics. What does mechanic or a GP, doctor, has to say? What's wrong with the organ or skin or something or the other? And if it doesn't, well, again, from life's perspective, even if the body is on its deathbed, what's wrong with that? Unless you think about it. There's a beautiful dignity in which the nature endures physical challenges. The cold, the winter, the pain. And there is no reason why human pattern, which is also nature, wouldn't endure it in the same way. Having the presence or that witnessing consciousness in the center, in the heart, rather than translating and interpreting everything through that complaining blueness. It shouldn't be like this. I want it to last. I don't want it to end. Or I want more of that. That's just blah blah. And that blah blah is cute and sweet. What else is it but love? I want more pleasure. Well, of course. Who doesn't? Come on. How sweet. I don't want pain. Of course. How healthy. How normal. But that's not the ultimate truth. That's just a commentary. That's not who you are. That's not you speaking it. That's just a natural instinctual response to the environment. The body that belongs to environment, that is one with the environment, that cannot at any point be separated from it. It cannot stop, breathe, exchange the air, exchange the matter, exchange the water, exchange the thinking. All the thinking, feeling is always induced somehow, either by the environment within or the environment outside. Is absolutely no separation. And that's the message.
I lost it.
Oh, okay.
Clipped it.
Would you like to add something, Daniel?
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah.
Blah, blah.
Can I add something?
Please, we'll have to maybe speak up.
Sure.
Okay.
Space is the absence of mental construction, while awareness is the knowing of this absence of construction. Realize the indivisibility of space and awareness. Page 40. When the past has gone, the future hasn't arrived. Present awareness is right here. It is unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected. Presence awareness, just as it is. It is the natural state, empty and
Cognizant.
cognizant knowing. Knowing, now-ing. Seeing there is no thing to see or no thing that can see means that emptiness is seeing. Hence, cognizing emptiness, emptiness cognizing, no thing seeing. Page 43. Seeing no thing. At the moment of seeing that there is no thing that sees the seeing is free of thought, just natural awareness or knowing. Non-dual or without a second, presence awareness, primordial purity, intelligence energy. All these labels are pointers to non-duality, which means exactly that, non-duality, nothing other, nothing other. My apology.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was the reading from Bob's book, Beyond Mind, Beyond Words, which is available on our website. Oh, by the way, actually it reminded me, not only Beyond Mind, Beyond Words, you will have the link to eBay where you can buy the book. This is a distillation of Bob's teachings that he scribed down, written down by himself. It's not a transcript of his talks. It's a really, really small book that I sell for 1/3 of the price that I paid for it. But we also have the Audible actually open up the possibility for putting up Bob's books in AI generated voice. So they're all available again on our website sailor.bobadamson.com/books. You'll have links to the books and you will have Kindle version, paperback version and audio version now. It's not Bob's voice. I did have a big project on one of the books. I even had the translation and then someone stole the copyright and published it in really bad voice on YouTube. So this one is a little bit more modern. Audible have high standards. It sounds alright. Yeah, if anyone wants to listen instead of read, because the attention span is going down and down with the modern world, the possibility is there. And again, as usually, I put the price as low as I could possibly do it. So it's not, like $40 audiobooks, what you normally pay, is more like 10 or 12 or something. So that's the Easter gift. I couldn't make it available for free, that's not on the menu. Plus, yes, we don't get any donations anymore, so I have about $1,000 of a year of a cost of internet and another 1,000 for the websites and everything. So if you buy a few of those books, that will help pay the costs. Apart from that, now we are inviting the contributions, because everyone knows that they are. Everyone has their pointers that speak to you, that serve as a reminder. When you ever get lost and you feel that, oh my gosh, I knew it, I had it, now I lost it, now I don't know anymore, I don't remember anymore. Well, what takes you out of that ridiculous idea that there is an I that needs to remember something, or there is I that has forgotten something? Because that I which remembers and which forgets is not your essential self. That I which remembers and forgets is the narrative self, is the illusory self, is the hallucinated by the neural networks in the brain interface that helps communicating and navigating the world. It doesn't have any existence. It is known in that witnessing presence, in that field of energy that we may call awareness or just beingness. It arises and it disappears. It isn't there at night. It isn't there when you're indulging in something or the other. So that I which remembers, that I which is lost, that I which is disappointed, that I which is complaining all the time, that blue, that sad, miserable, blue appearance of the complaining mind is not your essential self. It is the interface. Which is wonderful when you see it for what it is. What a source of laughter. Every complaint, look around and you can come up with so many complaints. We were walking with Din yesterday and I said, okay, so let's bring up some complaints just for the laughter. Anything that shows up, a little pointer, not a pointer, what is it, the road mark with the ugly, shitty sort of color yellow on it, like a warning sign. Oh, what a feast to complain about anything and everything. If you know it's just a joke, complaining is a joke. Life is as it is, unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected. Complaining doesn't change anything. It's just a narration of some sense of dissatisfaction which arises out of that installed ideas of perfection that are culturally induced and imitated by parents who are also dissatisfied and always looking for improvements. It is a habit pattern. It isn't necessary, but it can cause extreme suffering when it is believed. Let's say, oh, I don't like my smile, oh, I'm too thin, or I'm too fat, or my husband doesn't love me. And believed in, that sort of a complaint can become suicidal. Or I don't have enough money, or I'm not healthy enough, or they are better, or they don't like me. Goodness. But when you see it for what it is, what a ride. Isn't it laughable? It couldn't be any different. It is as it is. Why even just why? Of course it's impossible. This is an automatic function. The complaining mind automatically kicks in and look for the fixes, because that's a job. It is a tool that is supposed to preserve the whole mechanism. So it is supposed to look for dangers, evaluate whatever could be improved, and generate more pleasure. So wonderful. You look at it and you hear those complaints and you blow me a kiss. Oh, thank you. Yes, the yellow could be better. It could be brighter. It could look better. Yes, those people could dress better. Could they love me more? Ha, what an idea. And in this way, you don't necessarily overlook what is, because those ideas of things that could be or should be or would be different are just a part of the landscape. They sweet little laughable ways in which love expresses. But they are not clouding or overshading the fact that those are just ideas. Perfectionism, just ideas, ideals to strive for, just thoughts, just mental images. And life is shining forth in its full glory. And that piece of a landscape of a complaint is nothing, means nothing. If anything, it invites the laughter because you don't believe it. Why would you? Life is as it is, evidently. Look around, that's what is. Yes, the carpet could look different. Yes, people could have or would have. Yes, sure. But as it is, what's wrong with that? As it is pretty incredible. And it will never be the same again. This moment will never ever reoccur. It is alive. It can be recalled as a memory, but it will lack that essential aliveness in it.
You do hear from time to time, and it can be surprising, the voice box that it comes out of, that, I thought I lost it.
Yeah.
I'm scared I'm going to lose it. I had it. I understood it. And then I lost it. If you believe that,
What the hell?
yeah, and you're still barking up the wrong tree, so to speak, because you can't get away from it. It's
Lost in space.
yeah, you cannot. It's not, you know. It's like Bob said. Can you not be? How can you lose it? There you are. That
Yeah.
it can't be lost. It can't be trained. Can't be taught. Can't be manipulated. Can't be willed into a certain way of being. Because who is there to do all those things? Who is there to have a will to enforce, to make things happen?
God bless itself. Can I just continue
Yeah.
a few more pages?
Just before Heyman continues,
Yes.
I thought it was very interesting to hear Bob's words spoken with Heyman strong, clear voice. The cognising emptiness meant something else. It meant not just a sort of fuzzy cognising concept. It meant seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling,
Yeah.
thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. And just hearing it through a different voice, it sort of jumped out. Thank you.
Page 15. Thank you, Ross. By the way, I think that I have to correct that I said that my apology was that my own word and not book's word, and feel free to tell me thanks for second-hand information. Really happening, and the natural unchanging mind essence is missed or overlooked. Page 17. In hearing, my apology. In hearing or reading this, the thought may arise, thought the resonance or recognition. Hey, wait a moment. I see that the answer is not the conceptual thinking, not in the subject-object. In parentheses, by the way. The pointing out is always about non-duality, pure subjectivity, or self-knowing awareness. In that moment, there is an empty awareness, the essence that registers or cognizes everything just as it is. In parentheses, non-conceptually. Including the concepts, thoughts or activities, in parentheses, everything. Look now, or as the ancient scriptures say, come face to face with your basic essence, bare livingness or awareness, or nothingness, emptiness, your original face, space-like awareness, clear and empty. In parentheses, nowhere to go, nothing to get. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone would like to contribute something, comment, add, tell us your favorite pointer?
Then I will continue 2 more pages. Page 23. The thought I see this or that, or I think this or that, etc., appears, and with that the unquestioned subject-object duality, in parentheses, subject I see, object that, which is the cause of all our problems. Seeing has seemingly been divided into seer or seen, thinker or thought, etc. Page 24. On being pointed out that there is really no division, that the seeing thinking is all there is, in which the thought I see appears. The seeing subject and the thought I see the chair, table, or whatever is being objectified by thought. Both seer and the seen appear in the seeing. My analysis that implies non-duality. Filling the gap between lover and beloved, which is unexplainable. Yet I explain it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anyone? You boys, say something. Come on.
Technicalities.
Oh,
So thank you for my God, it's daunting having the camera right there in your face.
pretend it's not here.
Yeah, pretend it's not there. It's just that it's I'm reflecting on my Christian upbringing, and I'm thinking how relevant that can be. It's like everything can take you home if you want to. And that's the essence of this teaching, isn't it? Really?
You are
Maybe.
already home. Just recognize.
It's only words, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't contain anything. Nothing's contained because there isn't any, there's no reference point of any substance, isn't there? There's thing in that book, no reference. Can I have a look at it? A moment?
Can I pick one and read it later? Just pick any.
No reference point of self-centered with any substance
Or
or independent nature cannot be found.
There you go.
There's only emptiness, no thingness. I think the relevant thing there is to reflect on the fact that there isn't a reference point, so whenever we get into this sort of obstinance or anger, anything like this, which is perfectly okay as an expression of life, but then we're struggling to find a reference point, aren't we? You know, struggling to make something real, and you cannot do that. When you really look at it, one sees the emptiness or the fallacy of the struggle to be somewhere, something, somehow.
You want to pick one and read?
The resonance. There's one essence, shaping, forming, patterning, experiencing, and expressing is everything. That's an amazing thought.
Yeah.
That's all it is. All this is, it has no meaning in isolation. It's all just one thing. That's why it's laughable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's complain a bit.
Yeah. Well, could we all agree to stop apologising? Sorry has so much to answer for. You're conditioned as a child. Say sorry, you naughty little doer. You did this, you did that. And we go through life apologising all the time.
One is
Taking credit.
Taking credit. Stop it. Stop it.
shaping, forming, patterning, experience and expression is everything.
Yeah.
Let's include all our hidden private definitions of self and all the fears that come with that. Everything's included. That's just part of the, obviously, when you have a look at it, it's only just part of the
Patterning,
conditioned
shaping.
pattern responses.
Yes.
Amazing
Yes.
thing. Expressing as everything that one can observe, one can experience, one can see. You can't even separate yourself from that. You can't ever separate yourself from that, no matter what. You consider yourself to be the mind, the body, or awareness.
It's beautiful. Can you put it up? I'll show it to the camera if I can. Oh, this is a beautiful sunset. Resonate with that. And this is the pointer. They are beautiful. Yeah.
Happy days.
$35.
This is a,
They probably cost more than that to make.
yeah. I don't make money on that either. Ross, would you like to read what you got? You picked the card too?
I'll give you a tip.
She said, once we had something that was precious and beautiful. What happened to it? He said, you spent it all.
Rough.
That intelligence functioning now is the razor's edge.
Yes.
Presense means prior to senses. It is ever fresh, just this. There is nothing else.
Nothing else.
The razor's edge, that's an
Yes.
amazing term, isn't it? So is that the edge between reality and not?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between sat and asat, or vidya and avidya.
Yeah.
Reality or non-reality, the Rosa said.
Beautiful. And show us this one. And this one invites to relaxing into it. And it's a beautiful calm beach with a little bit of a sky. And those are all Bob's pointers, pearls of Bob's pointing. Bren, would you like to read yours?
Sure. How much information can you get out of the computer if the power is not on? What must you be? The body or the power that animates it?
Good question, huh? Very, very easy to answer.
Yeah.
And the beautiful full moon. And this is to reflect on. So that card is calling for the reflection. Which must you be? Obviously. But prove it to yourself. You can actually really, yeah, I'll get it. Tasha, would you read yours? Oh, sorry, Ross.
Just like the eye, as an E-Y-E, just like the eye can never see itself, you can never grasp it or understand it with the mind. Trying is futile.
Yeah, and this is to resonate with. So that's, yeah, easy to resonate. I can't see it. The fire can burn it. The water can't drown it. And Tony's in a deep state. She's not playing.
Life is easy just to ride the experience.
Yeah, beautiful. Did you get one, Jordan?
Oh yeah, I've got one. They're really nice cards.
They are nice, yes.
Resonate with that. It is like a wind, known only by its expression, the movement. The livingness that you are cannot be grasped or separated from what appears on it, from its expression.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And this one is also for resonating. And it's another full moon. We had full moon a couple of days ago. They came up here. And this is to resonate. Yes, wind only known by its expression. And Dean doesn't want to play. Tanya, will you play some cards?
Play the game. You are beyond the mind. Presence awareness is prior to thought. Before anything is, I am.
There you are.
I am that I am. And you know, The Razor's Edge, I think it's the name of one of Bob's favourite movies.
It is.
An old black and white, worth watching on the Easter weekend.
It's gorgeous.
Goodie.
Is that Alfred Hitchcock? Or?
No, Somersault. No. Yes. Yeah, it's from 40s, I think, that film. And I have 3 cards too. So I've got a card relaxing into it. It's a beautiful picture of the sea and the sky from the airplane just before my scuba diving trip on the Red Sea. So it's in Egypt. And it says, there never was a doer, thinker, or me.
So it couldn't have returned.
Yeah. I lost it.
Yeah, I had it and I lost it. Or I has returned. I was the space and now the I has returned and taken over. There never was an I, so it couldn't have returned. Belief got caught up in the appearance. Belief is not the actual. It's just a thought. Without the word, without the thoughts, there's no belief, there's nothing. And that was also in relaxing. Yeah, they're pretty nice and clear from the. And I'll just give it a little spin on here. Bob loved that we made a wallpaper of those. And
I'll just have a walk with you guys.
Yeah, they joy, they real pearls. So now, anyone?
Yeah,
Oh, please.
something just came up, so I don't know if it's a question, but when we're identifying the thoughts, I think a good inquiry would be like, where's the thought occurring, or is there any location?
Brilliant.
Is the thought even real?
Yes.
Because we have like an idea that the thought is occurring in the headspace. So yeah, I just want to say that.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that is a great line of inquiry. It's one way Bob would say, who is it happening to?
but there is a presumption that there is someone there that it is happening to. Like when you really look for location, can't locate it.
Got one idea on it. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever had like a super creative thought just popped up out of nowhere and you go, oh my god, that was so cool. Where did that come from?
Yes.
And artists talk about this all the time, like it's just coming for them, not to think it's theirs. It's just, oh my god, that was awesome. That came out of nowhere. And you know, so on reflection you'll notice that also there was no location added into that thought. So there's just no, you just have to start down assumption territory to say anything about the thought. You've got the concept. In fact, I even noticed the concept pops up before the words come. So you know what it's about, boom, boom. And then like, I do tend to like see sort of locations in space, but they're just in space, they're not like anywhere in a head. There's no imagery of a head there. So it's just basically the notion, and then, oh, wouldn't it be cool if, and then, oh, God, that's boring, what a repetition of what just happened. and you know, it just cuts off. But there's also, it's cutting off. There's no other information there that an eye is doing any of it. There's no other information about where it's coming from, exactly where it's popping up with coordinates. There's just,
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we don't have any reference point, we must be entertaining. So all reference points at once. Which is a cool thing to recognise. Now, we can't even see reality as it is from a scientific perspective. That's interesting to look at, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, where what we're looking at is in fact our biological fitness rather than a representation of the actual truth. It is, we don't see the truth as it is. We're only seeing, in other words, evolution has pressured every organism, us particularly, if you like, as human beings, Homo sapiens, to not see reality as it is, but to see something. You see an image that you've made in your mind. Clearly everything is always, you only ever see the past anyway, because there's at least a microsecond between the way in which you formulate the information from the input from the moment of input of the light energy anyway. So you don't ever see, all you're looking at is the past. But beyond that, you never see things as they are, because Otherwise, we would be looking at pixels and yeses and nos and
Very
ones and zeros. It would be impossible to deal with.
respectfully, I would like to be a little bit disagree with what Peter said about we are not capable to see everything as it is. I would say if we wash our system from the conceptualization of what is, I would say we are capable to see everything as it is in comparison to every other creature on this planet, an insect or a rabbit or all kinds of creatures, fish inside the ocean also cannot see or can see everything as it is. I'm implying things as they are, our perception of the perceiver, and that's it. Thank you.
You're only ever, one is only ever seeing in non-duality. This is the point of that discussion, is that we don't see anything that's real here. No object has any real reality other than that which is made up in the mind. There's a kind of formulation. It's all based on past associations anyway.
I have a couple of comments here.
From our online community.
Well, just let me finish that point.
I don't want to go too much conceptualization, agreeing and disagreeing. Heyman disagree with you, you disagree with Heyman. This is all head stuff. The one that agrees
This top bottom,
disagrees.
is that the definition of
That's your
reality.
belief.
It is that which never changes.
Okay, so
That's right.
yeah.
I agree with
Let's not go to the beliefs, but we're talking really about the direct experience. So direct experience is
That's where it's all headed.
exactly. Yeah. So you wanna go to that, please?
Yeah.
Please. Yes.
That's the only conclusion
Yes.
one can come to.
Yes.
Is that everything is the one energy expression. There's no difference in anything. That's all.
Wonderful.
If everything is vibrating like that, in essence, every element of Dean kneeling here is vibrating. And that's it, basically. Basically, it's just vibrating energy. So if we come to that recognition, you see that everything has to be one. Can't be the objects we see. If we only see energy, and energy is only pure energy, you take the form of energy, like this has potential or not. There's potential energy there. Then you have all kinds of other energy occurring. Chocolate energy.
Movement energy.
This little bunny here appears colourful and glistening and vibrant and brilliant, but I just ate one before and it was hollow.
Hollow.
It was hollow.
What a metaphor.
Hollow back.
Hollow inside. Empty space.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
From what you were saying, like in the course of miracles, you know how they say like we give everything meaning,
Yes.
and like each different person has different meaning for the one thing. Because of our overlays and experiences and projections and.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Some will see oneness, some will see division with the police coming, some will see something else. It's just different. Different overlays that are all in each of the packages sitting around the room.
And that meaning, the pointer is great. We give all the meaning that whatever it has, but the meaning also comes automatically from the machine, the way it has been conditioned. The meaning is also somehow automatic function. So we don't even give it, it arises. The situation arises, the response to the situation arises. All arises in consciousness. The meaning arises in consciousness. And it could be as fascinating as anything. Oh wow, this body, not only it reacts with like an erupting volcano of anger or disappointment, but it also reacts with this backstory. Oh, this happened to me, it shouldn't have happened. Wow, how juicy, what an amazing dream. The reaction is arisen and the meaning has followed up, and it all happens on autopilot, completely unconsciously. The only conscious element of the whole show is the witnessing presence, is the pure consciousness in which it arises. And I have a couple of comments that I wanted to include. One, Del says, yes, there is no doer. And Tracy says, presence, pre-senses. What a wonderful pointer. That blew me away. And that's really it. The rest of the comments are about our sound issues. And again, sorry for that. It become unmanageable. Sometimes it has life of its own. It sometimes works properly, sometimes it doesn't. I have another avenue of investigation, like using just the phone and amplifying the voices by giving a mic that really brings the noise to the room. But it might get worse. But we'll see. We'll see. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's so true, isn't it? Like, we give everything meaning. That's implying that we're the doer.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've got a question. I've been trying to answer it in my own head. So on this path you become aware at some point that everything I think or everything I believe is conditioning. But I was just sort of sitting here thinking, well then why do I feel like me? Like I feel different to what I imagine Dean would feel like.
Yes.
And so it's like, well, what is that? And so I don't know if this is correct or not, but what came to me is just like habit is conditioning, and just like conditioning forms habit and unconscious behaviours, so too does the feeling tone. So the me self who feels like Tasha is actually a learnt feeling tone. And when that drops, I assume the feeling of me isolated as a feeling drops. But that's kind of like a question really, more than a statement.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Tony?
I think it goes in and out all the time, so there's a space where there's no thought and that feeling, particular feeling's not there for that moment, and then other times, like, these, and I think you can go around saying, I know for sure that didn't come from some other life, or I know for sure that's not from childhood, or I know for sure, we don't know anything. But there's a package of interactions and system behaviours going on in each location, and they come and go, come in and out. I'm pretty sure there's probably no one who's just been at bliss the whole time and isn't being impacted underneath with certain things, unless somehow that particular package has been completely clear of everything. And I wonder if there ever has been such a package that has, everything cleared all the time. I doubt it. Not from anyone I've met or seen, or I've seen them with no thought for periods of time, and then I've seen them snap in, or I've seen them they dig around for behaviours and can't find them and still feel blissful, but react normally to a trigger. And and I guess I don't really have a sense of me in there, but I'm still reacting in that package way. I've just never had the conception that it's not just an unraveling universe. You know what I mean? So that was an easy one here. But I will still feel different from Dean with certain environmental issues. I'll be triggered in different ways.
I guess it's what's
have that feeling. I think you're talking about that sort of package.
Like if there is only one, then why does Tasha feel like Tasha and Tasha doesn't feel like? Can I use you as an example? Why does Tasha feel like Tasha, but Tasha does not feel like Dean? If we're one, then it means there's a me and a him.
It's a one. A mountain and a valley.
That's what I was kind of asking.
How do you know? This is
because the feeling time.
Can you find Tasha?
Oh, I know. Somewhere behind this pointing finger.
How do you know it's there?
I know to say it's conditioning, but I don't really know. Really look.
Really look.
So why do I feel different? Sorry, Dean. Why do I feel different? As if I'm a me. Not just the thinking and the understanding, not just the conceptual me, but the feeling me.
It's like a mountain range and the different bumps. So in one aspect, yeah, the feeling's different, but it's still dirt.
For myself,
Different bumps of dirt.
The body.
What you're saying is that, so when you say I am or I exist, the mind is involved. The minute it's articulated, worded, said, labelled, whatever. But before that, prior to the words or any attempt at conceptualising who you are, you exist. There is an ordinary knowing awareness before the mind gets involved.
The particulars of the feeling, when you say there is something specific that feels like me, Tarsha, can you see how that feeling comes, like I just quoted whatever someone says, pre-sense is prior to senses. And now the sensory component of that feeling, the specifics, some sort of an intimate, maybe a little insecure, maybe a little tender, something that is specific, that feels like me, and you assume that it doesn't feel anywhere else. You don't know that. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But it feels there is something specific that feels like Tarsha and not Dean or someone else. Does it feel like this all the time? Or is it fluctuating? Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's weaker. Sometimes it's not there. When you sleep, it's not there. That feeling, just as you answered your own question, that feeling, that habituated sense that there is a me that is very intimately unique, that sense of personal, is fluctuating, and you, the presence, is knowing of that fluctuating sense of self. So this is not who you are.
So it's
you are the knowing of it.
Right. So it's learned feeling body that is then identified with and as.
It's the interpretation.
Right.
It is the computing, the sense of presence. And Bob has a beautiful metaphor that he quotes again from ancient texts. It's like the metal rod that is put in the fire. So the metal rod is dead and insentient, just like the dead body. But when it is put in the fire, when it's put into that source of consciousness or life essence, it takes the qualities of the fire. It becomes hot like a fire, red like a fire, it can burn like a fire. And if it could speak, it would say, I'm the fire, I'm the doer, I can do all those things. So that sense of me-ness, which arises in the dead body when it is immersed in the source of life, the fire, immerse, the body becomes red and hot, and it can speak, and it can see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and it feels like this is something in between the dead body and the source of life, something, the third person comes, like in between the, the yellow glass and the blue glass, you put them together, and the green appears, the middle ground, sense of self, the illusion of self. That's the interface, that's the avatar. That's your Siri in the computer or in the telephone. Some, narrative self, some seeming objects that you call Tasha. This is me. This is my identity. This is a costume. This is not the dead body, and it is not the pure life that is never changing, that is prior to senses. Doesn't feel hot, intimate, cold, small, big, nothing. In between that dead element and the life element, that personal self appears. But you can see that it is always changing. Your image of yourself when you were a little child was different than the image of yourself that it is now. But the presence, the existence, never changes. Whether you gain 10 kilos or you lose 10 kilos or 20 years ago or 20 years from now, that intimate awareness, that certainty of existence is always there. The fear that I'm not good enough, that changes. The fear of rejection or the longing for truth or pleasure or something, that fluctuates. But that presence, that consciousness, that is the same all the way through. that one stays. And that one is the same in the tree, in the stone, in Dean, in everyone, because it's prior to senses. It doesn't have qualities. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's not feeling rejection, it's not vulnerable, it's not invulnerable, it just is. And you can't even say it is.
It doesn't come and go.
Yeah.
It's always there, it's always the same, it's stable, unchanging. It's the only thing that you can say with absolute certainty. When you realise that every other quality that you believe you possess or that defines the Tasha somehow comes and goes from moment to moment, has a beginning and an end. That
I think that happened
cannot
at the
exist
same
without the
time.
background.
I think the sense of self and sense of I, sense of Peter, comes in exactly the same time as the appreciation of something outside of oneself as being separate. There's no time involved in it. It's an eternal event. It happens only in eternity. But if you think about it, that must be true. If I can only see myself now, what am I using to see myself? The sense of being me only comes in through a comparison that I instantaneously make. Things around me.
There's already a separation of me as other.
Yeah.
But when Tasha mentioned this feeling tone, just before that, according to the explanation of dependent origination, it's a Buddhist Theravada analysis, there's contact. The contact that's of the senses, so there's contact, and there's a feeling that Tasha mentions, a feeling tone. Well, according to the dependent origination, that feeling is either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And if it's unpleasant, we try and get away from that, or it might be, I'm no good. And there's a whole range of things we call conditioning, samsara or samskara, there that tell us we're no good. Or it could be pleasurable and I want this. So desire arises. But if there's a memory of the true essence, it's the feeling is neutral, and then it doesn't have to go through a whole series of things to do with separation. It's back to acknowledgement of the essence. So it's something like that. But if we forget that,
What are you doing, man? Making some sounds.
if we forget that, we're off the razor's edge and we're into the duality.
Watch the mind, see how it operates, Bob would often say, but know that you will never ever find the answer in the mind. Or beautiful concepts, pointers, as helpful as they might be, golden, beautiful gems, you need to drop it all. Going into the mind, trying to figure this out and put this in its box and this over here, and this is folly.
It came down to a question just before, and it's like, I didn't realise I'd been working, so-called working, on the conceptual need and having a better understanding of that. And it just hit me when I first walked in today. Oh, but there's also a me, like a feeling tone Tasha. And then as everyone's talking, it's like, well, if I'm not little misconception me, and now I'm allegedly not little misfeeling tone me, then who am I? Yay! And more to the point, what am I? If I'm not those things.
Yes.
So watch this space.
Intelligence, energy. There's so many different ways. Ordinary awareness. Whatever label you want to put on it, you never find the perfect one. They're all words. They're all limited. Trying to describe the limitless.
It's so intelligent. It's like, okay.
That's okay.
It's like so intelligent and so wordy. It's like it just does your head in because it's just another thing to try and work through. Try and conquer.
And watch the trying. Because ultimately Bob has this really, or maybe I'll just sit here. Bob has this really good, beautiful little twist on the idea of who am I, or who is I. He would say he was asking a question. Who wants to know? Who gives a shit? Who wants to figure it out? Is there anybody there who is preoccupied with wanting to find out who am I? Who is, what is I? See who is so curious about it.
So if I am not an I, and I want to find out who I am, to find out that I'm not an I, doesn't mean I'm killing myself?
Who wants to find out? Who wants to find out?
There's nothing to die.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah. The idea that, and they have those pointers that, I die daily, or die to that sense of self, and all that crazy stuff about dying. Dying is the most delightful thing. You go every night to sleep and you die to that sense of self. Every night when you close your eyes and the idea of Tasha drops away and dissolves into the nothingness, and we say we had a blissful sleep. And there's nothing wrong. The dream shows up and the response to the dream shows up, and the dream character is just responding without dragging the past behind. And then we wake up in the morning and the past is being dragged into it. And this is me, this is my identity. This is who I am. But is it really? And see, the way little babies or animals live without having self-concept, without having an idea of who I am. I don't know who I am, I don't care. There's no question. There is just this moment now, there is seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. There is a response. Oh, there is a cake. Oh, we'll see if that eats the cake or it doesn't eat the cake. Oh, there is another thing, the plan, the idea comes, the response happens. But dragging that past me, that conceptual image, that this is, I am doing this, I am doing the seeing, I am doing the thinking, I am, that heavy backpack of that confinement, dragging it into it, is just not necessary. You can just be the life. Be the life. Let the life look. Now there is life looking, life hearing, life seeing. If the question arising, who am I? This is life asking that question. But life doesn't need anything to do with it. Life doesn't need to find the answer. If there's an urge to find the answer to that question, okay, again, there is just life creating the urge. There is no answer to a question, who am I? It is unknowable. Because the one who would find out who am I wouldn't be the object that is being found. That would be something else.
If there is no me and there is no I, what is it that I think I'm doing and looking, and what is it I think I'm going to find?
God.
There is, who is the thinking? Who is thinking what I'm going to find?
Like who is...
The experience here is that it's like the third thing that Ross said was the experience here is that when it's not constant, like, oh, this is so heavy, it's so frustrating, I want to get home without falling asleep. When like the third thing that Ross mentioned, essence is noticed, is immediately, that pattern, that was still there, still doing all those reactions. Oh, that's a bit of a pain. But it's not a belief that it was me or this any kind of such thing as free will or any of that. But there is most of the time is spent in the, oh God, how am I going to manage this day? And da-da-da. But then essence shows and it's, oh, that pattern's still going on. Oh, it'd be interesting to see which bit starts to unravel next, which process takes place that dissipates some of that, and then what part of life might change. It's just this going in and out of those two things. I don't get that middle ground. I've just never really, never ever seen free will as a thing. And once I got to non-duality, and they said, look in the heads, there are Tony there, and a few times during 1 week there was no Tony, and I was like, so luckily I don't get that feeling in my eye, or shit. Am I going to disintegrate if they looked and there's no eye, or none of those kind of.
So it's a fool's journey then. So again, searching is a fool's journey.
Correct. Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream. The idea that there is something to be found, that the idea that there is something that has been lost, and the idea that there is someone.
Here.
Yeah, well, it may play out, but if you understand it is a dream, you're not really preoccupied with it. Like you say, oh, there's still appearing. If there is a subtle disappointment arising, and that disappointment is being owned to, well, then obviously you need some more questioning. But if there is an idea, oh, there is still a self arising, and there is a disappointment, oh, there is still disappointment with self arising. Wow, that's pretty incredible, huh? Wow. And there is complete neutrality about what is arising.
And I'm not even getting those three, I'm just getting like, constant reactions are what's happening. Where's the being in essence, all where's the just in essence noticing that Ross mentioned all the time, Well, I don't crave for it, but it's just like, wow, so much triggering,
amazing,
happening all the bloody time.
Why not?
Tasha, by definition, the dream of becoming denies that you are that right now.
It just seems futile now.
Correct. It is. It's one of the most distracting, things of all is the concept of being a seeker in search of something that you already are. Longing, looking, desiring, striving, believing that you are doing. Who's doing?
I think one big belief in what I experienced was the belief that I needed fixing. Like the constant striving to go to therapy to fix something or to have an end goal, to get somewhere, to have a perfect sense of self.
I'll fix you up.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, there is idea, there is something to be got. There is something wrong right now. There's something wrong with me or the life as it is. It's a thought.
That's right.
And patterns can still arise to free up the way life is lived without having any sense of there being such a thing as perfect or to be fixed or right. So sometimes you've got to kind of be careful that's not coming across as dismissing. Many of those processes
I still say therapy.
You won't, but others do use language that does make it sound like that's just being dismissed. Yeah, so...
But even if dismissing happens, not
having either, but I'm just saying, it's a thing out there that can choke the path a little bit of freedom, and freedom isn't, again, anything at a goal. If you don't, and that's in this free world, there's never any goals,
Yeah, generally the objective of the conditioning, of the essential survival mechanism of the body is always to find itself the smoothest path. There is always a tendency to self-heal and self-regulate.
Yeah, that's what goals are meaningful,
It's without any trying, without anyone taking credit. If therapy is required, it will show up. If there is other form of healing required, somehow that life essence that is looking after and keeping the body alive will bring it into the attention. Just like the pain arises, and this is the call for attention, to do something about it.
If freedom is the path that's happening, and then there's also some kind of like from the Indian perspective, I read somewhere once, there's those in the downward path, those in the neutral one, and those in a freedom one, you know. So you one or the other. One or the other's happening, you know, for now. Yeah. And I guess in the ones on the downward, you know, the healing won't show up if it's required.
Well, everything constantly changes. The
Yeah,
one that is going down, you know, the tide going out will soon be the tide going in.
Yeah. There's some change.
Yes.
Some change with your life.
It's a dream.
Exactly.
Take it serious. Okay, relax, chill. You can't do anything.
And I'm very chillsy, but it might be assumed I'm not, so there again, that's all just meaningless.
Do you want me to keep banging the bowl? I'll just keep banging the bowl.
Thank you. Thank you, Kat. Thank you,
Do you want
everyone.
to have a last word? Come on. Last word. Come on.
Ring the bell again. That'd be the last word.
What about Shakespeare? Can Shakespeare have the last word? Since I nor any man but man be, with nothing will he be pleased, till he be eased with being nothing.
Beautiful.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good question.